Joining us now, we have Congressman Mike Lawler. He is on the House Foreign Affairs Committee. And Congressman, the committee just subpoenaed Antony Blinken for refusing to testify over Afghanistan, the dismal withdrawal. Talk about why this is so important right now. We still don't have any answers yet on what happened, who went wrong. No one's been held accountable.
Well, obviously, Rita, since we've taken over the House over the last 20 plus months, we have really worked to hold the administration accountable. We've held numerous hearings on the disastrous withdrawal in Afghanistan. Kamala Harris says she was the last person in the room with Joe Biden. Well, Kamala Harris and Joe Biden own this disaster that resulted in the death of 13 U.S. service members. And Kamala Harris still to today has not met with the Gold Star families. It is disgusting and disgraceful. And we have sought to hold this administration accountable. And Antony Blinken has testified previously, but there are still a lot of unanswered questions. The administration has refused to take responsibility, trying to blame former President Trump for the withdrawal. The reality is that the agreements that were negotiated were conditions-based. And Joe Biden should have recognized, he of 50 plus years of foreign policy experience, as he likes to tell everyone, should have recognized that the conditions on the ground did not permit the withdrawal that he engaged in. And we not only lost 13 U.S. service members, it resulted in the death of many. It resulted in hundreds of Americans being left. It resulted in thousands of Afghanistan interpreters and those who supported us during the war on terror being left in Afghanistan with the Taliban because of the way that Joe Biden and Kamala Harris handled it. And so we are trying to get to the bottom of it. We want answers. We have asked Secretary Blinken to come back and testify and answer more questions. And he has refused, citing his schedule. But the reality is the American people deserve to know the truth about this disastrous withdrawal.
Congressman Mike Lawler, I think about, too, obviously it was horrendous. And the loss of the 13 U.S. service members, there is no price on that. I mean, I think of their families so much who have come out and just have been heartbroken and haven't gotten, as you said, even a call from the administration. And yet you also think about what's happened around the world since then. I mean, we lost so much, I think, respect, sadly, around the world. People saw that we left our allies and left them high and dry in Afghanistan. And that, I think, has really caused, you look at, I don't think Russia would have felt as emboldened. You wonder what Iran's thinking. They're thinking America's going to walk away and leave equipment and leave it such a mess. There were so many repercussions after that withdrawal.
Well, the idea that we turned over an Air Force base and, $80 billion worth of equipment, this Air Force base within close proximity to China, our greatest geopolitical foe, and just stupidity at its highest levels. And obviously, Joe Biden's weakness and Kamala Harris's weakness as president and vice president has invited the crises that we have seen on the international stage. The Russians saw what happened in Afghanistan and recognized that the Americans did not have the will under Joe Biden to push back. And that's why you saw the invasion of Ukraine. And despite the fact, think about how stupid this is, Rita. Despite the fact that we are supporting Ukraine, we're spending billions of dollars. Europe is spending billions of dollars. You know what else Europe is spending billions of dollars on? Russian gas. Why? Because Joe Biden and Kamala Harris are opposed to domestic production of energy here in the United States. In addition, you look at what they've done with Iran. Iran was broke at the end of the Trump administration. And what did these jokers do? They lifted sanctions on the purchase of Iranian petroleum against China. So China has purchased 90% of Iran's oil, up over $100 billion over the last 3.5 years. That is the money that is being used to fund Hamas, Hezbollah, the Houthis, and the Iran nuclear program. It is shameful what has happened on the world stage under Kamala Harris and Joe Biden. and they have made us a laughing stock, frankly.
Yeah, sadly, I agree, sadly. And boy, as you point out, there are so many repercussions. Congressman, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
Thank you.